It's the PokerNews Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 896th episode of the PokerNews Podcast. I'm Chad Holloway, not at Level 9 Studio. I'm at the 2025 World Series of Poker, and this is going to be a special episode, a little off the wall. We're going to go man on the street here at the WSOP and focusing on cash games. You can see it behind me. This is the new cash game area at the WSOP. It is still in the Paris Ballroom, but it is in a different location. This is no longer the King's Lounge. It's the new live action area. This is now where a bunch of tournaments were last year, but this year it is cash games, and it's broken up into two sections. To my left is the 1-3, kind of the lower stakes, if you will, and to my right is where the high stakes games are, more high mixed games, that sort of thing. Very busy here today. It's just the start of the WSOP. Cash games are kind of just getting going. We're going to give you a little bit more of a tour, and then I'm going to go get around to other players, ask them if they have any good cash game stories. So don't worry, if you are watching this, great. You're going to get to see me talk to these pros, but if you're listening on the audio only, don't worry. You're going to get to hear great stories from the likes of Daniel Negreanu, Phil Galfond, and many more. So let me get around here. Let me see who wants to talk to us. You know, it's the early days of the WSOP in 2025. How are you feeling about the cash game action?
Oh, we're really, really excited here. I mean, we got this new gorgeous space. You know, we got 54 tables, starting, from the lowest stakes, 1-3, no limit, all the way up to the highest stakes. I think we do have a 5,100 limit game going right now. So, yeah, we are super excited. We'd love to have everyone out.
What about the games that you, no limit, pot limit Omaha, but you do other games too?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we got 5-card double board going right now. I mean, you name it, we'll spread it, Yeah, come on out.
Perfect. Check it out when you're at the World Series of Poker. All right, it's not the PokerNews Podcast without Mike Holtz catching up with you at the WSOP. We're talking cash game stories. You got a good one for us? I told you to think about this now.
Now, I'm not usually the best at thinking, but I used my brain this time, and I do have one. Caesar's Palace 2-5, like 3 years ago. We're playing, and there's this chick there who's talking about how she strips at some strip joint nearby. And every time she has the nuts, she takes her phone out and puts Jamaican music on, and she stands up and starts hitting the twerk, right? And so she's drinking. She's getting wasted every time she shows the nuts. So everyone else realizes that every time she goes all in and doesn't turn a Jamaican song on, she has a bluff. So she punts off thousands of dollars, and then by the end of the night, the staff comes over and they kick her out because apparently she'd been stealing money from her neighbor's stack after that. So, yeah, that is my cash game story.
We're talking cash games, and I saw you here and I thought, you got to have a good one.
Well, I haven't played much here, but 20 years ago, 2005, I played in my first cash game at the World Series. It was 5,100 stud 8. I played with Puggy Pearson. I'd heard about Puggy Pearson. He was a delight to play with, but amazingly, while all of us were dealing with chips, most of the time Puggy somehow would be dealing with $100 bills that came and went. It was like a magic act. And they didn't make him, maybe because he was Puggy, deal with the chips. Usually you can't have cash on the table and play the cash, but Puggy would be dealing with, I don't know, he could put $100, I got to tell you, he could put a $100 bill out there and take two back. So I did not win. Puggy didn't beat me, but I was amazed to see the artistry of Poker Hall of Famer Puggy Pearson at the table.
I love it. I love the poker history. Thanks, Norm.
Sure.
We're doing a special episode about WSOP cash games. Do you have any fun stories about a cash game that took place during the WSOP or anything like that?
I do not.
No?
No, I never play cash. I haven't at all. So I'd be the wrong. Maybe ask Alan Keating because he's the guru.
Yeah. Does he come into Vegas for the cash games usually?
I think he'll come and he'll maybe play a tournament or two and talk about how boring it is.
You know what? He's got his vlog game up there now too. So a little competition for yourself.
Is what?
His vlog game.
I've seen, yeah. I saw him call me out. It was kind of cute. You know what I'd like to see him do? Right. I'd like to see you, Alan, step out of your comfort zone and sit with Chidwick and Kuhn and Mateos and Bajikowski and Martirosian and play cash with them one day instead of 5 random blind guys. Maybe let's just, I think that's what the world wants to see. You against really, really good players. Good luck.
When we're talking about cash games, one thing that comes to my mind is Phil Galfond. I mean, you grinded online. I reported on those online games back in the day. But we're wondering about WSOP cash games. Have you played in any good games that you remember throughout the years or any good stories?
So lots of good games. The story that I remember It comes to mind first. There was not as good of a game. So there was a private game that ran. This was in Ivey's room, table 1, and it was big. It was I think 2K, 4K no limit, so 400K buy-in, and it was the kind of game I'd never ever get in. But one night, the game was breaking, and so it wasn't as good. But a lot of people were leaving, and I had an opportunity to get a seat, and I didn't have, well, in real world terms I did, but in this game's terms I didn't have very much money available. So I was contacting everybody, trying to get chips and to play this game, and gathered up like 1.2 million so I could go over, and sat down, bought in for 400K. I played 5 hands. I lost like 3 medium pots. I lost 200K, and the whole game broke. So that was my adventure.
Was this No Limit Hold'em? Was this Pot Limit Omaha?
This was No Limit Hold'em.
And
that was the problem. That was the problem.
Well, I certainly appreciate it. Do you play much cash games during the WSOP these days, or what's it like? Or when was the last time you did put in like a cash game grind during the WSOP?
It's been a few years now. I think it was pre-COVID. So it's been a while. The games, at the highest stakes have gone mostly private, and the main big public game that runs is Mix, where I'm still not that great. Right. It's been a while. I miss them.
All right, so as for one of my personal favorite cash game stories from the WSOP, this harkens back to the days of the Rio, right? Now, if you remember, they used to have chip runners. I believe they wore red shirts. They would go, you'd sit down at the table. How much, sir? They'd take your money, go get the chips, bring them back. Well, you ever wonder why they don't do that anymore? It's because an incident happened years ago. I don't know the exact year, but it was in the early days of the WSOP, that particular year, right? The opening days. Cash games were going, and somebody donned a chip runner shirt. They looked like a chip runner, and they went around acting like a chip runner and collected money, right? And made off with that money. They were not really a chip runner. It was a thief of some sort, and they ended up getting away with, this is a rumor, this is just what I heard years and years ago, so I don't know how accurate it is, but I had heard like $80,000, which, makes sense. Like, they go in, you could probably got like 15 minutes to go around, right, collecting money, and then you just vamoose, get out of there. And then how much longer do you have before people realize something is really wrong? Like, it was kind of a perfect crime, if you will, especially if you know you're going to do it, in the year in advance. Grow your hair out, grow a beard, so when you get home, shave it all off. Like, as far as I know, nobody was ever caught. I don't know that for sure. This was years ago. It's kind of become like this urban legend, though it really did happen, and that's why you don't really see chip runners anymore at the WSOP cash games. Little story you might not know, and they're probably not happy I shared, but that's the truth.